Did you note any numbers, or do you want me to go?
Oh, the case numbers?
Mhm.
I have them.
Okay.
Are we good?
I think we're good to go.
Okay. I make a motion to deny case number 2022-019. No action.
I second the motion.
We have a motion and second. My only discussion on that would be, do we want to deny or do we just want to put it on hold? Mary, suggestion?
Well, I think that we need to
Deny it right now.
suspend for further resources and see if she
I'll
can
suspend.
come up with some other resources.
Okay, let's suspend for further resources until we know what.
I'll amend my motion to say instead of deny to suspend.
I second that.
Okay, we have a motion and second to state case number 2, suspend for further resources. All in favor signify by saying yes.
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 I'll make a motion to withdraw case number 2022-008 for non-service of subpoena.
I second.
We have a motion and second on the stated case number and reason. All in favor signify by saying yes.
Yes.
Yes. Motion passes.
I'll make a motion to for case number 2022-018 to deny based on non-communication.
Withdraw.
Withdraw. I'm sorry, withdraw for non-communication.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion and second to withdraw due to non-communication. All in favor signify by saying yes.
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 And then what is that document that we need to do the reapproval on?
Right there. There's a case number in the corner. So you just need to do the case number.
Okay. I make a motion to reapprove case number 2022-007 due to the APR drug pricing difference. All right?
Mm-hmm.
Is that what it is?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I second that.
That's a motion and second. Mary, is that good enough?
Yep, I think that's perfect, and I'll get a hold of Miss Dupree and figure out what we're doing there.
Okay, all in favor signify by saying yes.
Yes.
Yes. Motion passes. Thanks, Mary. Don't get sunburned, 78 degrees. We're so jealous.
Yeah,
All
it's gorgeous here.
right, hug each other for us. See ya.
Okay.
Bye.
That requires all 3 signatures.
78 degrees. Holy Toledo. Here you go, Roy. Okay, bats in the attic discussion, Commissioner Hubert. But before we go into that, Cindy, where are we with the cleaning of the attic?
I believe it's done.
He cleaned the attic. It's all done. Okay. Was there very much?
No, there wasn't. He pointed out a couple of spots that had, one had a dead bird, so he was pretty sure that was one of the entrance areas. I haven't seen him since to tell him go ahead and cover those. Didn't know if you guys wanted to look at the areas first or not. And then there was another one over by the front of the courthouse, facing north. Another hole in the floorboard, whatever you want to call it, that could have been an entrance, and he was going to cover them up, and I didn't know if you guys wanted
So
to.
those were the only 2 spots he found anything on.
Well, other than what has already been, mentioned, but yes, those are holes that he saw poop and things in there, so he's pretty sure those are entrance areas. So
Okay,
do you
so
want
it's
me to
cleaned it
go
all
ahead
up.
and tell him to cover those up with some plywood, or what do you want me to have him go ahead and do that?
I had asked him if he could get costs on a lift and how much it would cost to cover all of the holes in the attic. But he is working today in a different location. So,
Well, I thought that was discussed by all of you, that it would depend, if you're gonna move forward with the, repairs on the roof, it would be already part of the,
we just don't want the bats back in there,
So,
because if it's not gonna start till June, they might come back.
well, they might come back, but the problem is they're going to make holes again
yeah.
as they're doing the.
The mortar's weak, and they're gonna find a weak spot, just like the birds do.
Yeah.
Because there was a bird in that in one of the areas where he was talking about. So it's not just bats getting in.
Well, I
yeah.
think he should cover up the holes that he's found as well as look for some more.
Well,
I'm
this
just
is
not
in the
sure
floor,
that
not-
until we do the roof repair, if we should spend a ton of money. Also, we cannot do a lift when there's snow or ice. It has to be
No. It
melted
would have
before we
to
could
be
have a
a-
lift.
It would, and the ground would have to be dry. Lifts are heavy.
Yeah, it has to be dry. And so it's going to be a little while before we could do that. I'm wondering whether we want to do it twice. I'm just throwing that out there. Commissioner Hubert?
Because, yeah, it's just an added expense again. And during construction, the bats are going to leave.
I just wanted to make sure that we didn't drop it. I've talked to 2 people that that's their sole business. And they said if they've left, and I was up there with our custodian. He found a dead bat up there, by the way. And didn't find any droppings there. But he said, I feel that we need to get somebody that knows about it. The people from Boise have said that if you cover the holes, the bats will come back. They will find a way in there. They'll gnaw through the wood. And unless you have a chemical that you put on there. And so I just, it doesn't matter to me if we're gonna wait to see about the construction or renovation of the roof. They will be back for another year, and if we as the employees in the building, we've had one bat down with the employees, and it's a very slight chance, but we've had one death last year with a rabid bat in Idaho, and so I just don't want to drop it, make a decision on what we want to do. We could get somebody in here. The firm from Utah called me. However, they have people in every state. They are probably one of the biggest. He said he could come by and for a couple $100 give us an idea of what it would cost. And so I agree that it would probably be quite a cost to take care of that. And if we want to go another year to see what the cost of renovation, if that's the way we're going to go, that's the way we can go then. I just didn't want it dropped without a decision made.
Well, I definitely don't think it needs to be dropped. I mean, I know we can't do a lift until the snow and the ice are out and the
Ground is dry.
ground gets dry. I think it doesn't hurt a bit of thing for him to cover up the holes that he's found because it's
Those are
warmer
the
and
floor. Yeah.
just cover those up. Anything that he finds, cover up because it's a matter of maintenance. I'm not saying he can get it all, but maybe cover it up.
And you mentioned that we'd have to have a lift on the outside. I never looked into that. You must have talked to somebody about that.
We had some guys come up and look at holes and stuff, and they found places that they can get through, but the problem is to seal them right have to be done from the outside of the building.
Yeah, but you go inside the attic and you can see strips all the way along there, and that's what you're talking about evidently.
Yeah, they just said that it would be better, more efficient, be a better job if you seal them from both the inside and the out would need a lift in order, because there's nobody that has a ladder that tall to get to the, you can't hang off that roof up there, so you're gonna have to have a lift run it.
And according to the people in Boise, they said you can put boards over all of it, and bats, this is their home, and they are going to fight to get into their home again.
I totally believe that, Roy. It's just that if they are going to remove some wood and do some repairs in the attic, do we want to do that at the same time so we're not doing it twice? That's just a question. We want to go for it now. I'm okay with it.
I just worry about them coming back, and then if we're going to be doing construction this year, we'll probably have to bring somebody in to remediate the bats, to get rid of them.
And the ones in Boise, they say they have the equipment to do that.
Yeah, but if we can't get a lift, I know I've got
Yeah.
scaffolding. I don't know if the scaffolding will reach that high or not.
Yeah.
I don't
Well,
know.
To go along with what you're saying, if the bats are in here and that's what we do decide to do, to renovate up there, why we could get the bats out of there even
At that
after they've
time.
come back.
And the bats, I think that when I looked it up before, the bats come in April. Late April. But either way, I think the holes ought to be filled that he finds, just regardless, just as a maintenance, because birds get through them too. So
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
just
I think
cover
there's
them
only
holes.
2 holes, and they're only
Yeah.
about this big.
But there's other ones way up at the top,
Yeah.
all the way around, obviously, that need to be taken care of. I just wonder whether we make that part of our renovation efforts up there, or we go ahead and call in. Do we want to call? I don't mind. I don't begrudge the $200 to have them check it.
I personally, it's a risk that we have to take with bats up there, and they've been up there for probably 30 or 40
Oh yeah,
years.
they've been up there forever.
It's just that finally we've had a death in Idaho. I personally feel comfortable just waiting to see what we do with the renovation. But if something happens, I don't want an employee to sue the county for millions of dollars.
They probably got downstairs where the employees are because of those 2 places that are in the floor where
And
they can go
those,
through. So
And those could be
Covered up.
covered up.
Covered
Yeah.
up.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I'd like to see what they do with the roof, but if anybody feels better with having the guy in to give us an estimate and tell us what it's going to be, I don't mind doing the $200 and having him look at it. I don't think we can fix it right now, but wouldn't hurt to have him look if you want.
Is he gonna tell us what we need to treat the wood with?
Well, yeah, they have treatments, but it would cost for them to come in. Like I say, I'm willing personally, that's just me, to let it go until we see what we're going to do about renovating.
yeah, I'm good with that too. I think.
Okay, and I might mention it to our architects as well and see if we can deal with it at the same time that they're looking at the roof.
Yeah.
Sounds good. All right, we're a little beyond, and so I'm going to go ahead and let elected officials, department heads, and emergency services go first. Carmen, how's things going?
Good.
Besides your frozen?
Well, we're actually very warm now because we're trying to keep things from further freezing. Yeah, so it's actually pretty warm in the office. But yeah, so we had some frozen pipe. Well, no water, and there's no leaking. So I'm hoping there's just froze but not busted. But Sawtooth should be here between 3 and 6. So we should know this afternoon what he's going to have to do to get them unfrozen. But we think it's the pipes that are in the ceiling. Essentially, it's pretty cold up there. So
Okay.
Michelle and Sam opened that this morning, and things got colder when it was open. So
Is there a way to
Yeah,
set a
there-
heater up there?
I don't know.
Is the ceiling like this where you can pull the panels back?
No, it's in the where the conference room is. There's a crawl space to get up there, and it's a solid ceiling. So
I'm wondering if you could set a little heater up there where the water line is, but if the plumber's coming, he'll know.
yeah. So we're gonna ask him. He's
Okay.
gonna figure it out. But there's not been any leaking or flooding from the ceiling, so I'm hoping that he can just thaw out whatever's frozen. And we'll
And I was writing your permit did anything freeze up there where the pipes that we worked on a couple of years ago, they go into the attic and we put a lot of it insulation around it.
Yep.
Those are the ones that froze.
Yeah, I believe so, because that seems to have been the problem a few years ago when we had this happen, and I think that insulation just over time kind of condenses. So I don't know if we need to throw more insulation up there to help cover where
I
those
think we
pipes
ought to
are
get
exposed.
Plumber to get rid of those pipes in the attic.
Yeah, but then I mean, do you know maybe when it was built? If anybody knows when it was built, if there's a reason they're in the attic? And not
There is a reason, and I wish Presley was here because he knew the exact reason. But-
Yeah, and it might just be that if they're, because it's a cement floor, so.
Mhm.
And it was a lot cheaper.
If you have
So
to move it, you have to tear it.
Cindy,
Yeah.
where I live, our pipes used to freeze a lot under there, and so what we did is we put a heat tape on the pipes, and then you just unplug it in the spring and plug it back in the winter.
Yeah.
That might be something.
well, you
that
can run it on a
should consider.
thermometer, and it only
On
comes
a
on if it,
thermostat.
yeah, thermostat, where it only comes on if it's 35.
So we bought a cheap one then.
That's what we
Well, I'll mention that to them
Yeah.
as well. So when he
Yeah.
comes,
They're very efficient, and they only come on when you need them. So.
Yeah.
I'd recommend we do that immediately, and that probably
Yeah, so
take care
have
of it.
them talk to him about
Probably
that.
would take care of it.
yeah, because right now there was an event on Saturday which discovered that there was no running water.
Oh,
And so and then there's a few events, and then there's the pesticide training on Friday. So we really want to make sure that we can.
Did we
host
give
that.
them their money back?
Well, it was a 4-H group, and I think they were understanding of the situation. So, but I'll talk to them about that.
Okay.
But we should be okay if we
Did
can.
Brody sign up for the,
The pesticide.
yeah,
Barb would know.
Okay.
The conservation district.
Oh,
So, yeah. So we do have the pesticide training that the conservation district hosts every 2 years.
It's on Friday?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yep. So there'll be, I think she said 6 to 7 credits. It'll be all day. So.
Okay.
So it's a good program. So we have that on Friday. I did get a host of livestock school in January, so that was good. It was well attended. And then we have another one in Gooding on February 28th. We had the 4-H livestock skillathon was hosted in January as well. And then we have our Hidden Forage conference, which is every year in Twin Falls, February 17th, which I help out with a little bit at that. Sheep and goat webinars, which I also do. We have our beef, so we start our weigh-ins in 2 weeks. So we'll have our first beef weigh-in on February 19th. And then Michelle has been helping at the youth center with their young entrepreneur program. So that's been kind of fun for her to meet those kids and be involved with them. Other than that, we just kind of are getting ready for summer things and different research projects. Trying to think, we did a planting project last spring over here at a landowners with Barb in the Soil Conservation District, so we'll be looking into that this year. Just continuing all the other stuff. So, and the building has been well used recently. There's been a lot of events now that things are kind of getting back to normal a little bit. So we've been having a lot of events. Sam has been receiving a lot of, I guess, contracts and things for the coming years. There's a lot of people doing typical weddings and things like that. So it's good. So it's being used a
Awesome.
lot again.
That's good.
Have you been involved in any of the hemp discussions?
No, I have not.
I'm very interested in the hemp discussions with it now. You have to get, it's my understanding that you have to get a permit to the Department of Agriculture if you want to be a hemp grower, but I just keep reading all this stuff about the hemp insulation and all this way cool stuff that they're making out of the product. And it might be really a cash crop for our people, and it's supposed to be very drought resistant in a lot of ways, and so I'm like, I'm kind of interested in the hemp.
I'll have to look into it because I know Oregon State, because they kind of were one of the first states to legalize that. So they have done a lot of research on raising hemp and the cost and what products.
I just wondered if it's like, if our area would be suitable soils and stuff for it. I don't know.
I could look into that because I know, Oregon has definitely a different growing area, but they do have some areas that are similar to Lake County with our water year and things. So I can look into it and see what might.
That'd be cool info. I
Yeah,
think.
building boards, there's so many things you can build with it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And it is like was mentioned in a drought area like ours, we have so many years that it's drought, it doesn't take all that much water. But it does have to be regulated.
Yeah, well, they definitely said that you have to get a permit and you have to do maps on where you're going to put it, data points, all that has to be put in your permit so that they can come and check it.
Check it.
So you had to have pretty exact maps and kind of work with your assessor and stuff, I think. But it is of interest, all the new things that they're doing with it. It's pretty cool. Cool. Linda, how's it going in your world?
Well, pretty good. I was very happy at our conference when Senator Rice said that we were handling the homeowners exemptions the right way.
I saw that. I didn't get to see a whole lot, but I
Yay,
did
win
see that.
for Lincoln County.
Yeah, win for Lincoln County. Senator Rice was at the property tax meeting and said that there were only 2 counties that did it right, and we were one of them. Yeehaw. Yeah, so I really enjoyed the conference. I've gotten where I think I really like Senator Rice as well. I'm also working on my 5-year plan. I have to turn that in today. And what that is every 5 years, the assessor has to send to the State Tax Commission their projection on how they're going to complete the 5-year revaluation cycle. And you have to have how many employees that are actually in the valuation field and how many hours they dedicate to it and how much money that my budget has for travel, education, mapping, all those things. All these spreadsheets I'm doing. I've got the spreadsheets done. I'm got the letter done. I'm just down to doing the map. And dang it, I'm going to have to redo the map again because unfortunately when I save the map to ship it, I save it in a PDF and we don't have a PDF that I can edit. So, because we're all in the free PDF fields. Save money wherever we can. But that shouldn't take long. And it's basically the same thing we do every 5 years. This area is this year, this area is that year, this area is that year, so that all gets done. So, I did have a little bit of kind of a shutdown in the office with people out sick or people who had been exposed. I believe my assessor's side was closed Tuesday the assessor's side was closed. But the Titles and Reg was open. And they were kind of not quite feeling up to par Wednesday, and then now today I'm back with my full office because the rest of the week it was just the 2 girls. And I did have them closed during lunch so they could get a lunch. On January 13th, we started selling the park stickers. We had always planned on doing it. We just wanted to make sure we had a better handle and things were going as good as I guess we could expect with the new gym program that we got from ITD, and that the Parks and Rec had got their software up and usable, because they have, since they originally started it, they have changed the way they're doing it. Because before you used to have to connect it to a vehicle, like, okay, this has this plate or this bin number, that's one's getting this sticker number. You don't have to do it like that anymore. You got 4 ATVs, here's 4 stickers. Are they less than 50 inches wide, more than 50 inches wide? Just slight little questions like that, and that's it. So, and we sold, I believe, they said a little over $400 worth of stickers just last month in our office. I think the sheriff, the whole month got 800. So, and quite happy. Michaela passed her test.
Nice.
So she now has a certification from the State Tax Commission saying that she is a property tax appraiser.
Wow.
So,
Did you get that paper?
yeah, I gave Lynn a copy of it. Yeah.
Did it get signed by the commissioners?
The paper for the commissioners to sign.
I had it in, it should have been in.
What was it?
Because they don't have to approve it, you just have to sign it.
You have to sign the paper.
Oh, yeah, I got it.
Rate increase.
Yeah. Okay.
Make sure we get that back.
Other than that,
Okay,
yeah, it's
appreciate it.
just, we all know it's legislative time, so sit there and listen to the legislators, listen to them debate the bills. we all, well, not all of us, but about 13 assessors went to the Senate hearing room when they suggested the circuit breaker increase. The Senate passed in their committee, they passed an increase on circuit breaker from 125% of the median to 200% of the median. Right now with the 125, it takes 10 people that we have on circuit breaker off because their homeowner value is over the 125 limit. The House passed theirs as well the next day, which was
200, right?
150
Oh,
and 300. 200 was the Senate side. We're all hoping the Senate side flies. We don't know how that's all going to fall out, but that's what we're hoping for. I think if the 200 flies, I think I'll only have one person that doesn't make it. So that, and considering we only have 84, that's 12%. 12% of the circuit breaker people won't get it the way it sits right now. We're hoping that it also goes retro after the first of the year, so then that way it would allow the others to get on.
So Linda, this letter that we received from the Secretary of State, that's
That would be not Secretary of State for the State Tax Commission, that letter?
connection.
Yes, Richard had.
In other words, that's dead now.
Well, no, not necessarily. Richard did send them a letter saying that he would like more time to take a closer look at it. Latah County prosecutor actually sent a letter saying that, well, they stated why, whatever case that Tom stated, why it wasn't valid, and how actually one of the attorney generals, the deputy attorney general, told the assessors in an email, or told one assessor, and of course he shared it with the group, in an email that bottom line is, you do what your prosecutor tells you to do. And that's from the attorney general, and then he also stated other court cases to where what they had said wasn't valid, and he said, these are your opinions, and there was a court case where the opinion didn't hold because it's just an opinion. He stated that, and then we had the.
I didn't
the
need to
fact
go through all of this. Could we get a copy of the letter that our prosecuting attorney sent to him?
Well, as soon as I take it framed off my wall at my house, I'll bring it in.
I didn't want a whole newspaper.
Well,
Just a small one would be fine.
well, I've got the letter and the emails and everything. It's all framed and real nice in my house. Shadow box. But yeah, bottom line is they said they don't think any further action needs to be done by the state
Okay.
from Latah. So we'll see how that all falls out.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Cindy, what's going on in your world?
So I also have had 2 people out of my office last week, off and on, and so hopefully it's gone through all the people because can't afford to have any more sick.
Good for another year, right?
Yeah.
And everything's going fine. There's nothing new. I did like the discussion that they had on Tuesday regarding the public defense and doing a regional agreement. That would lower our costs immensely because James Law is a lot more expensive than Mark Copen was, or Copen. So I think if we could all discuss and then if that becomes, something to consider, I think you guys need to consider going regional with our public defense so that it will be funded through the state and not through the county.
Depends on if those pass, because we
saying.
have different bills coming in that I don't know which way they're going to do it yet.
But what I'm saying is if that one passes,
Yeah, definitely be a consideration.
yeah.
But they've got some different ones, so we're kind of waiting to hear what they're going to do with public defense. Something, I think, but
Yeah.
I'm not exactly sure what. Okay, and
Norma. Oh, and nothing else for me. I'm finally, I'm not swimming, I'm not drowning. I'm walking in waders, so that's really good.
Are
Next
you
time-
addressing
next
the
month?
issues with the audit that came through? Have you
Um,
started working on any though?
What section, what are you talking about?
I thought there were some things that the auditor last week said that needed to be addressed. Not last week, the week before.
So, if you're talking about the ACs, those have been done since before he finished the audit. I had Sandy do that when they first talked to me about it. So if that's what you're talking about, that's done. That's been implemented, and it's been implemented longer than it was. Probably a week into maybe 2 weeks into the audit, that we started implementing that, because Curtis stated that that's something that should have been done. And when he said that, then that means I made it done, be part of the new procedure. So that's done. As far as everything else goes, I've got a couple of IRS letters in the mail. I've got to find out. I've got to call them and wait on hold forever. So once I find out what those letters are regarding, it could still be the same cases that, I guess it was some 941s filed with the wrong year, and it got cleaned up on the ambulance side. I'm trying to figure out if this is what happened on the county side too, and if it's already been addressed. I'm still working on that, not sure.
Okay. There was a letter that came in from emergency management that said that this is the final closeout for the state Homeland Security grant. The performance period for this grant was September 1st through August 31st of 21. It said that it was due to COVID. It was extended, the performance period, and now the grant's closeout date will be November 30th, 2024. So basically it just says keep this record retained, and thanks for your cooperation in this matter.
Are we gonna hear from department heads?
Norma, I didn't even see you. Sorry.
That's what I thought you were asking me, not
I'm gonna let her
I
get off the
didn't
hook.
see her. I'm like, hey, Norma.
Well, because she was.
I thought you'd left. I was like, where's Norma?
No, it's okay. Well, lots of great stuff.
Okay.
Started off the year with COVID too, so I was closed for a week. But now that I'm back open, I've had 5 plans be submitted for review.
For houses?
Yeah, for home.
Nice.
Yeah, I just issued 3 building permits. Still, 2 are still in plan review. They haven't been approved. I've issued 2 certificate of occupancies. Just working on the comp plan. I have a conditional use permit for this meeting coming up, and then conditional use permit for our meeting in March. They didn't meet the deadline for February, and then a couple inquiries of possible businesses getting set up in Vortex industry, Vortex Solution.
Nice.
They did call and ask if there was any restrictions in our comp plan, and there really isn't.
Where is Vortex?
You know, the
Vortex.
Cowboy Mall, the strip across from Johnny's.
Oh, Wild West.
Well,
no,
It's across the
No,
street.
you know
It's on the
where
other side.
It's
where
right
Taylor
next to you.
repairs, Taylor Trucking and Repairs.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, that
that's
one.
Vortex.
That's it. Oh, okay.
Well, that's one little piece of Vortex.
Vor-
Yeah.
He
Whole lot
also
of it.
has that. It is a little loop
It's
though.
loop, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Well, he had it for sale, and there was a couple of inquiries of possible business right there. And that's about it.
Okay. Sorry, I didn't see you hiding in the corner. Don't hide in the corner.
I knew that. That's why I said something. She doesn't see Norma back there.
Did you, Payson also had upcoming stuff that he had on his.
Oh. Was it from him direct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Will you just let me borrow yours?
Yes.
Are you hurting today? Sorry.
I heard every day.
Okay, here's a report for Monday's meeting. Quarter reports have been submitted to the IOEM. Radios have been ordered for Lincoln County EMS in October. They're been on back order since December. Hopefully they'll get them this month. They ordered thermal imagers for Shoshone, Dietrich, Richfield, and Lincoln County Sheriff. They have not received those as yet either. Still getting weekly updates on COVID numbers and reports from South Central Public Health. I still have plenty of supplies if anyone is in need of masks and hand sanitizer. I just returned from the IEMA conference in Boise. Good conference, nice to be able to interact with fellow EMs in person, good speakers, interesting topics. FEMA presented a tabletop exercise on mass notification alerts at the newly developed IRC, formerly known as the Idaho Emergency Operations Center, which is located in the old HP complex in Boise. Upcoming activities is the Cascadia Rising exercises happening this June. Oh no, that one was terrifying. And the plans are to have a regional response for our area, so I'm working with Twin Falls, Jerome, and Gooding, as well as IOEM during this exercise. We'll be having a meeting this week. LEPC meetings are still on hold due to COVID. Hopefully we can restart soon. Other than that, looking forward to all events and activities happening this year. Chamber is having a job fair on February 23rd at the community center from 5 to 7. Please, everyone come. This sounds like a really cool event. They've been working with Southern Idaho Economic Development and the Idaho Department of Labor to get businesses signed up. So that is February 23rd, 5 to 7 p.m. As of Friday, we have 5 businesses signed up. Then on the 24th, the Manhattan Cafe will have a business after hours from 5 to 7. A fun event with finger food, door prizes, and networking for local businesses. Hope to see you there. That sounds really fun too. On wearing his other hat, great job, Payson, with the Chamber of Commerce in the ribbon cutting this weekend at the new business, Tumbleweed Collectives. And it's such a cute little store. If you haven't gone in there, make sure you do. It's on Rail Street there in Shoshone, in the old building that's blue.
Yeah, right on the corner that used to be the pharmacy, that used
Yeah.
to be the movie land, that used to be the...
Used to be Movie Land, yeah.
Lamanarcas was the last one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, really cute little store, so go see them. Great job, Chamber of Commerce, for putting on that event. There was probably 40 people there. It was a good event. And I know Payson has been super busy trying to figure out more and better for all of our upcoming events this spring and summer. Okay, did anybody else report to you as far as...
No, Payson was the only one.
Okay, cool, thank you for that.
You know what? Ashley may not know.
Oh, well, let's invite her to the next one.
Yeah. I will let her know that when it says department heads, that includes her.
Okay,
I'll bet you that's why she's not here.
yeah, let's
yeah.
invite her because she's
Yeah.
new.
Yeah.
And let her know what's
Daisy?
going on.
Daisy doesn't come down.
Oh.
I would be.
Usually Anna's in here, and I don't know what happened
She's
to her
not
today.
here all week.
Yeah, she's on vacation this week.
Okay. Good. As far as the other departments, I'll report on corners. We had our corners event right after the legislative meeting. I stayed for 2 days of corners. Very good meeting. They had great information on manner and cause of death, drownings, how to fill out death reports, certificates. They had great information on just new investigative techniques, new drugs that you have to watch out for, new toxicology, just everything. It was lots of information stuffed into 2 days, lots of homework to go through. Always good to go there. Again, they hit us with that we will probably be asked to start getting ABMDI certified. So that's a bit of a process, and Dottie has been meeting with the state and nationwide, and that looks like it's going to be a big push in the next year or two. The coroners were also not happy that the hours that they're putting into training and work and everything combined, they said they're just way under the dog catcher as far as the county's concerned, and they weren't happy with base pay situations for elected officials. So I will tell you that might be a discussion coming forward. I suggested, I'm the only commissioner in the room, and it's a little awkward when they're really mad at commissioners, and they like to call us dirty words, nicely. Anyway, and so I suggested that they track their hours, and there is a chart from Nationwide that says how many average hours you put into an investigation, how many hours you put into, like, if you get called to do just death certs and cremation authorizations, and how much each hour that you're on call is worth, which is varying because, as we know, coroners are on call all the time. I'm not sure that I differed on this opinion. They thought that all on-call hours ought to be counted, in my opinion, the nights and weekends are the times that everybody dies and they have to go out and you have to be always on call and you can't, have more than one drink and you have to stay around. And if you're not going to be there, you have to find a deputy coroner to take your, there's like a lot to it. And then you're always afraid when the phone rings at, midnight that, especially in the winter when it's 0. And so they suggested nationwide that those hours were worth 15 minutes. I'm not sure they are the whole thing, but there certainly has to be something that your on call is worth. So I said we should get together as a group and you should hash those kind of things out. If you think that you're working more hours than you're getting paid, commissioners like to see things on paper. We don't like people just come in and say we're not getting paid enough. We like to see, what hours you're working, what you're doing, and so that we can see what's happening. The other big concern was most of them, if they have to go to a training or whatever, they're leaving a job. And so then they're losing pay. So like if you ask them to go to a 2-day training, they're losing like the $200 that they would have made in their other job. And that's not ever, figured in. But I said, put all that stuff on paper. I mean, commissioners are people too. And so if we know what you're doing and what you're working, then it's going to be a lot easier for them to understand what's going on.
Right.
Your training and all that. So anyway, that was my suggestion. One guy was quite demanding that part-time commissioners and part-time coroners should earn the same amount of money because they're both part-time elected officials. And we had a bit of a squabble because I said, well, I am both a part-time coroner and a part-time commissioner, and I don't know what county you're from or how many hours you're putting in, but in my county I work far more hours as a part-time commissioner as I do as a part-time coroner, so it doesn't level to me. And maybe in some counties it would. I'm just saying,
Yeah.
in mine it doesn't, And so I said, I don't think you can do that across the board. You guys got to be reasonable with, what you're needing here. It's not a great job. Somebody has to do it, and it's a very important job because you're talking to people on the worst day of their lives many times. So how you handle yourself and how you approach it is super important. They're going to remember. And it's always in the middle of the night. I'm telling you, it's always, freezing cold in the middle of the night, and the coroner rig won't start, and you're having to jump it. It's just one of those things. But anyway, I gave him some good suggestions on my thoughts, and it was very interesting. I think we have really jumped up the scale in Lincoln County on our coroner's office and how we go about investigations and doing all our paperwork and stuff. So I think we're good. So that's what's going on there. Okay, I think we're good there. Let's go into correspondence, old business. I've got, what do I have here? We did that one. Commissioner Hubert, you need to sign that one.
I don't know if he wants to.
Okay, and there's this one. We got a letter from Premier Aggregates in Emmett that says that they are a crushing and transportation company. And if there's any rock crushing bids in your county, we'd prefer to be contacted on those. And I think we should shoot these over to our highway departments.
Okay.
Can we just forward that to our highway guys?
Yep.
Because that's not us, really. This is rock crushing, so mostly it's going to be our highways. Okay. Put that in there.
I think I still have that group only because of planning and zoning. Do you? I don't know who would be the main contact for a highway department if it's not the clerk? Is it the clerk? I always did it because I had to contact them on P&Z stuff, but.
Commissioner Hubert, did you want to see this for emergency management, or are you good?
You went over that,
to the
didn't you?
clerks.
No, I
The clerk will
don't.
give them to the highway department.
Yeah, I would give it to the secretaries, or we have a list in there of all the highway guys.
No, I have the group.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. But I did it. I had the group because I was in planning and zoning. I didn't have the group because I was clerk.
Mm-hmm.
Well, somebody
I want
just
the
send
clerk
them
to
that.
do it. That's what I'm asking.
Yeah, have Norma do it.
Okay.
I don't care who does it.
All right.
Somebody just send them that, just so for their records
Okay.
they've got it. I think we've got some local guys that do crushing as well, but it's always good if they're busy to have a backup. So, always good information. Okay, on our old business. You want to give us an update on electric cars?
I was given, and you were one of them, I was given a couple of different grants that I can pursue. I I haven't heard anything whether they've received my information, whether we were awarded the money or not. I have not heard back from Michael yet. I'm very, very hopeful that we will at least get the grant money for the stations themselves. I'm kind of waiting for who's going to get a hold of me? Is it the architect for the courthouse to get information, or is it the GM that'll get in touch with me about the power and possibly the fiber over there if that goes through?
Either way, either one, I would get a hold of Ben though and tell him that we want,
Yeah.
you know,
Oh, okay.
kind of tell him what we're looking at
Okay.
so that they have it in their thought process.
Okay. So
They could
that's
probably give us an estimate too.
yeah. Okay. I will get in touch with Ben on that. But that's where we stand with the EV station. I'm very hopeful with some of those the new infrastructure bill. There's so many of them. I got confused. That they're making some money available for electric car charging stations.
Yeah.
For sure.
I heard that quite a bit, so it looks like some new things you can look at.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. ADA parking, that's going to have to wait till spring now. We get done with our ice. Courthouse scope of work, we could probably take that off of there. We have hired a CMGC, and we are waiting to see what their charges are going to be, and then moving along through the process. So more information as it comes. ARPA funds, we've got a lot of information I think we're pretty good. We've got a lot of information going. I would like to ask that if we could, now that we kind of know the process better, if we could get the pool and the seniors on our next agenda and go ahead and get them some funds for their revenue replacement.
Put it on the agenda.
Because I hate to just keep kicking their can down the road.
Yeah. We need to have documentation from both of them.
Right.
So.
Okay, I can call them and tell them to get us the letters, but I'd like to get it on the agenda so that we can just get it done, and so that they can decide what they're doing, because their plans are kind of waiting at this moment to see if they're going to get some
Once you
help.
get those letters, just let Lynn know and we'll get it on there.
Okay, I'll get them called on that. Broadband, they are doing signups. If you go to etsfast.com, you can fill out a little form and they will call you to see if they can set you up. I'm going to look at their website to make sure they've made the changes. When you look at the plans, know that if you choose the higher plan that doesn't include paying any equipment fees, as soon as those equipment fees are paid, you go back down to the $55 plan. There's also business plans and stuff. They will come out and look at your business and see what you need. So, and see all that. But anyway, give them a call. They will be happy to talk to you. They are doing hookups right now, and we're working towards the next step of those broadband.
When do you think
grants.
they'll start having everything in order to hook up?
So, as far as here in the county, so he needs to get with Stevenson's and our current internet provider with a little discussion, and I asked Cindy to kind of look and see what we were paying for internet.
It was just around, I think it was $8.17. So I think I told you approximately $8.20.
And that was for which buildings?
All of it was for. We're not sure. We didn't find EMS, so we think they have CenturyTel or CenturyLink for their internet. So everyone that's got the SafeLink. So that would be the county, the community center, and
Probation. And we're paying about $800 a month, $820 a month.
Yeah.
Currently. So I have asked them to hook the buildings in the county up as soon as possible. They need to get with IT and with our current program, but they're ready to do it. So I don't think it'll be very long, within the next week or two. The other discussion that we need to have is on IT sooner rather than later. I think we need to get that back on the agenda. We've got some issues with we kind of held off on the server because we are out of
Backup, not the server, the backup.
the
cloud
backup. We held off on that because we are out of space. There's some issues with the 400 guy leaving.
So I'm very left, but Bob is still doing everything, and we can't just go with the AS400 guy. Bob has experience to help clerks,
Oh yeah.
and so what I would like to see is possibly having IT as far as the networking, all of that, with a little bit faster response. That's where we have the biggest need. Is if there's a connectivity issue or something, they try to do it as soon as they can. But if they're on call to another county, then we don't have the access.
Well, that's what I was talking about because really,
Yeah.
Bob is a flat fee per hour. You call him when you need him, right?
Yep.
So that's something that you can keep on.
Yes.
Okay, as far as the clerks and all that side of it.
Yes.
But as far as the connectivity and the immediate
All
response,
the
networking, we could use a better plan.
Yes.
Okay. So I'd kind of like to discuss some of that as well. And then there is an option if we decide to change what we're doing of just putting our backup into the server station, the point of presence station that we have built, instead of doing a new backup here.
The Barracuda.
Yeah, instead of doing the
upgraded one.
Barracuda. Also moving the servers to a better place with security and air conditioning
So I would
and all
like to
that.
be in that conversation because I have network questions, only
Yes.
because I've been with businesses that have been networked and I have questions.
So what I'd like to do is set up a meeting of everybody who would be helpful with
Mhm.
that.
Because when anything's down, the person he always calls is me.
Yeah.
And that's because Brenda had me. Now I'm clerk and it's still me because I'm the only one with the enough background and experience that I should be included, yeah. Because I know which machines are what and I have questions because you guys spent a lot of money on the new server, I think, for the AS400 backup, right? Isn't that where we put a lot of money?
hmm
So I think
We all have questions, so
Yeah.
that's what we need a meeting on that.
Yeah.
Because that's it's not something easily understandable for all of us. We
No.
need to get some information.
Yeah.
And kind of know where we are. So let's work on that.
Mhm.
Okay. Okay. So that was broadband. Care Center grant. We just signed the papers today. Yay! So we're going to be able to move on that. Hopefully they're getting well. We didn't have our lunch meeting there because there is some sick going around there, but they're working on that and hopefully getting better soon. I don't have too much else to report. The Build Your Own Business group is going great guns at the youth center. Michelle is going down every Friday and helping them learn budgeting and financing and marketing. And they're doing a business together to start with. It's some kind of a cooking one. And then the next 6 weeks, they'll design their own business and then they'll Shark Tank, present it. When that happens, I will invite you all to come and see the Shark Tank. And then we'll hopefully start off some kids' businesses. For the spring and summer, Payson said that they're changing their program out here to where you can either buy all year for a pass for the farmer's market,
Oh.
or if you might be busy, you can do just 1 week. I think it's $6 for a week, which I'll be bringing some of the kids to that with some of their new products. So that's been going really fun. And then Karma's been taking a group every Friday to Bull Moose Bike Repair Shop for some kids that are interested in learning how to do all their bike repairs. So Bull Moose has been sponsoring that cool event. So they're going down there on Fridays. So anyway, always lots of things going on. And we're planning on expanding the preschool, and we're starting to get together our new sliding scale fees for that. So we'll be able to offer that to a lot more people. Okay, it is 4 o'clock. We've got an executive ladies, can I help you guys? Or are you in the next one?
That's what we're here for.
Okay. Is Richard coming down?
He went home, but he said he would join
Call?
us over a call
Okay.
to colonize.
All right. Can I have a motion for executive session?
I make a motion to go into executive session, IC 74-2061F litigation.
I second the motion.
We have a motion and a second for the stated code. Commissioner Hubert,
Yes.
Commissioner Rutler,
Yes.
Commissioner Wood. Yes. We're now in executive session. Let's turn